Good morning, everybody. So I'm just coming on quick because if you saw my previous video, you'll see that I had been away for a couple weeks and I'm home now. And of course, I need to start some sourdough. So this is the longest that I have ever left my starter in the fridge unused, and I just want you to see what has happened. So I have enough going right now for 2 loaves of bread. So I just wanted you to see what's happened. Like I said, this is the longest I've ever left my starter and tried to use it again. So this is about 24 hours sitting out on the counter, where I took some of the starter and I mixed it with 130 grams of water and 120 grams of flour, and that gives you your leaven. And if you can see here, the bubbles that are forming. I don't know if it's because the starter, was left for 2 weeks unused. I've left this out, like I said, 24 hours, and normally it wouldn't be this long, but I am learning you don't go by times with sourdough. When you're working with sourdough, you really have to learn to get to know the process and what things should look and feel like versus how long it should take. There's no point in me using that leaven after 4 hours when it wasn't bubbly, because it would probably not give a very good rise and stuff to the dough, and that's a lot of flour and a lot of effort and a lot of money to just waste. So I'm learning patience. I'm learning things about the dough, about the leaven. I cut myself off when I was filming earlier, so I just want to explain some of the pictures. When you look inside the containers that have the leaven in it, you'll see that the leaven is starting to sink. Normally when it's when you're proofing it, it kind of rises with just a slight roundness to the top, and that you could see that it was starting to kind of get a trench around it. It's starting to sink. So that means that the proofing is pretty much done. And normally, if that was my bread dough, that would be a concern, because that means when I bake it, it's not going to rise anymore. In fact, it could even fall. That's how you end up with croutons and breadcrumbs instead of a loaf of bread. But because I had to refeed it to make the actual dough, I had to put in 315 grams of water, 600 grams of flour, and some salt. Now that is basically feeding that leaven again, and it will start to feed off that flour and water and increase and get lighter. So just wanted to let you know, I am going to try and remember to post pictures of the bread afterwards so you can see how it turns out. Hopefully I remember. I've done 1 loaf that is 400 grams of all-purpose flour and 200 grams of whole wheat, and I did the other one just all-purpose flour. So yeah, so we'll see what happens, but this is just kind of a test for me. It's probably been 2.5 weeks since I actually used that starter. So I mean, if it works, that's great, because with the liquid starters, the more runny ones, I would have had to bring them with me and keep feeding them every day and trying to use the discard, and this is so much simpler. Like, I am so thrilled with this new starter, and it's made things so much simpler, cheaper, and more flexible and versatile. You're not planning every day around your bread. If you want to leave it for a few days, that's fine. I probably won't post pictures until tomorrow, because I do leave my sourdough in the fridge overnight because I like how it intensifies the sourdough flavor. And so that's a real plus for me. Some people don't like it as strong, and then you could just let it rise, shape it, and I think it's supposed to rise for another hour or so after, and bake it in the same same day. So for the rest of this container of starter that I have, I'm probably going to let the leaven rise for almost 24 hours each time. So it's, again, learning process, and that's the whole point of this channel. If you're enjoying the videos, if you're getting any kind of information or usefulness from them at all, please hit subscribe. The more subscribers I get, the more successful my channel becomes. Like the videos, comment below. It really does make a difference. And again, I'm not doing this just to get followers and stuff, but the more activity I get on my channel, the more visible it becomes, and then I can interact with more people and make new friends and share what I'm learning, the changes that are going to take place in our lives, and just, you know, it may become more of a vlog, just the different things. It's not always going to be recipes. It's not always going to be about food. It's just going to be about life and me sharing my life with you, and I would like you to share yours with me. So please comment below. Let's interact. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and let me know if there's things that you want me to try. I'm willing to try just about anything that I'm, you know, have the ability to do. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. You know, share your experiences. Have you tried this bread? Have you attempted this starter? Because if you have, I'd like to hear about it. If you haven't and you're intimidated or just you're not sure where to start, then let me know. Let me help you. Again, we'll learn together, because I don't have it all together. I'm not a professional, just trying to do things better for my family. It's been good. It's been good. There's been challenges along the way, but it's been good. So I will post pics tomorrow of this bread if I remember. If somebody wants to message me and remind me, that would be good too, because my memory's great. It's just a little short. But yeah, so I'll post pics tomorrow. Have a good day. Okay guys, so it's 7 o'clock in the morning, and I'm not showing my face on here because I am not dressed or ready. But I wanted to show you. So last night we went out for dinner to my son's, and when I came home, I mixed up, I had to make more starter. This could be fun with one hand. Okay, so I had to make more starter. So this is the starter, the dry starter that I've been raving about, and it has grown a bit. It too needs to sit out about 24 hours before you put it in the fridge. But it is, rising and getting soft. And then these are two more leavens that I mixed up last night and left overnight. And as you can see here, there are no bubbles that you see on the side. And that's what I like to see. If you look in here, see there are some starting on the top, and that's great, but I like to see bubbles throughout. And you can see the kind of roundness that I mentioned. Like, it's not dipping at the sides, kind of cratering around the edge. It's still rounding, but I don't see much bubble activity underneath the surface. So I am going to wait on that. And I didn't time it very well, because if it's 24 hours, that means about 7 o'clock tonight. May not take that long, I don't know. I'm going to be mixing bread and staying up for a couple hours, stretching and folding. So we'll see what happens. In the meantime, this is one of the loaves from yesterday. The other one's in the oven, the whole wheat one. This is the one that is just all-purpose flour. And I put it in the fridge overnight. And I use these little shower cap thingies because I can reuse them over and over. And they cling, like, I don't know, I don't like cling wrap. It sticks to itself more than anything else. So this has risen beautifully. And so I'm so glad I waited yesterday to let that leaven really get active before I used it. Now, when I talked to you yesterday, see that? about having to get to know the process and not just going by time, but looking for the signs of when something's ready. When you've proofed your dough, it is at optimum when you can push down like that about 1/2 inch and it lightly springs back. If it stayed indented, that means, like, not that indented, but if I just pushed it in and it didn't move, then it's overproofed and you're really in trouble. You can almost guarantee that your bread isn't going to rise, because your bread rises some more once it goes in the oven. If it's overproofed, it tends to actually sink and deflate, which is not good. Like I said, that's how you end up with croutons and breadcrumbs. But see, you just push it in and it's starting to come back. Now it is cold, so I don't know if it's going to react the same. But yeah, see how it pushed back there? That's what you want. I do have a loaf in the oven. I'm going to show you what it looks like when I take it out. So this is the bread fresh out of the oven. This is the whole wheat loaf. It rose beautifully. I'm so excited because, as you remember, this is after not using my starter for over 2 weeks. Now to me, that looks done. However, this is why I always use a digital thermometer, because as you can see, that's only at 168 and it's not going up very fast. I know that's not done. I wait till it's over 200, usually about 208. There is a bit of dough on the probe. Try it again, see what we get to. Yeah, so it's going back in. There we go, guys. So it's up over 200. This was only about, I don't know, 10 minutes more in the oven. So 204, and it's gonna continue to cook a bit. I did put the lid on when I put it back in because I don't want it getting too brown on top. I am freezing these for other people, and so when they want to reheat them, if it's too dark, that's almost darker than I'd like for that, I may have to keep that one. Then it will get too dark when you reheat it. So that's going to come out of the pan, but I do need 2 hands because that pan's hot, and yeah, I'm not going to burn myself again. One's ready to go in. I have it scored and it's going in like right now. So have a good day, everyone. It's going to be a lot of work today. I'm starting to pack stuff, clean up, sort. It's a huge job when you've been somewhere for 17 years and you're as sentimental as I am. You tend to hoard things a bit. But anyway, you got to start somewhere. Take care, guys.